Kirsten. Thanks for
there.
coming in today. On the phone, you just mentioned that you were struggling with some anxiety when it comes to presentations. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit for me?
Yeah, so I have this 45-minute presentation coming up in college, and I'm not really a good public speaker. And the last time I had a presentation, I went and I started to talk, and I opened my mouth, and nothing came out. And so I just ran out of the classroom, and I didn't come. The professor was really nice and let me do it on my own, but I know this one I can't. I have to say something, and I just can't imagine going in and doing it.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel when you stopped in the middle of class?
Oh my word, terrified. Everyone was watching me and looking at me and wondering what I was thinking, and they were probably like, oh, she's so stupid, or why can't she say anything, did she even try, all these different things. And I was just so overwhelmed by it that I had to go.
Did you prepare a lot for these presentations?
Oh yeah, I have to, otherwise I get even more nervous if I don't feel like I have everything put together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So from what you're saying, Kirsten, I have this worksheet that I think would work really well for us. So what it does is, so we have these beliefs. They're kind of like core health beliefs, and they affect the way we think, things like that. And so what this sheet is just going to help us examine this belief and hopefully turn it around and help you think more clearly in a way. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm just going to have you write down the event that's happening. So your presentation anxiety, however you would like to describe it.
In a couple words?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Okay. And so now if we're looking at the sheet here, you have these emotions, and these bolded ones are kind of the main groupings, and then there's some subcategories. If you would just like to circle when you're in that moment of the presentation anxiety and you just stop, what are you feeling in that moment? And if you just want to circle a couple of them.
So the event was me when I was standing up there and I didn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely panicky, definitely feeling incompetent, humiliated, self-conscious. I think that's it. Okay. Those.
Good. Okay, and so now what I'm going to have you do is this percentage here, the first column, I just want you to rate in those emotions in that moment, from 0 to 100, how you were feeling. It doesn't have to equal 100, just whatever.
So out of 100. I was pretty panicky. Gave me a heart attack. And I felt pretty incompetent. I'd say it's probably 70. Oh, humiliated. That's an 80 for sure. Couldn't handle anything. I think that's it.
Okay, good. So we're just going to take a look at that. I see that your highest is panicky.
Oh, for sure. Oh my word. I think panic is the best word to do it, because I was shaking and starting, and my head was just running and rushing, and all of my emotions were just
the
blowing
uncertainty
up.
of what to do.
Exactly. How do you handle this kind of a situation? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely started to panic for sure.
And then your next one's humiliated.
Because I was standing up there when I was supposed to be doing something, and I'm supposed to be talking and trying to be intelligent, and then people are just looking at me and expecting something, and I can't do it. I can't, and so I think I just get so scared and humiliated because I can't.
Yeah. And then the last one I see you circled is incompetent. Do you want to explain that a little for me?
Yeah, so I feel incompetent because I'm not a good public speaker, and I don't think that I should be having to do these things. And so when I have to and I get in that situation, I just feel so unworthy of this, and I can't physically do it because I'm not good at it, and I don't have enough there, so I'm just feeling that I can't. I'm completely incompetent.
Okay, good. So what I'm going to have you do, just make sure it's really, on the back here, we have this chart. And so we're going to start off with just an initial, whatever that core belief is. So I hear you talking a lot about how the people are responding to you. Can you just talk me through what that's like as you're standing up there, what you think the others are thinking?
Well, as I'm standing up there and I go to open my mouth, I drop my jaw, and then people look at me with these eyes, why isn't she saying anything? does she even try?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does she want to? Like, is she even intelligent? Like, they just have all these thoughts, like, judging me,
Yeah.
essentially.
So this was, the whole class had to do these presentations, right?
Mm-hmm.
What, did anybody else stutter or stop in the middle of theirs, or?
Yeah, some did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you describe your reaction to when they did that?
Oh, I completely understood, because I knew if I were in their shoes, I would do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sounding like one of those beliefs is that when you're up there, you just feel that everybody thinks that you're incompetent in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna have you, if you could just write down right here,
Okay.
that initial belief. Good.
Okay.
And so now so with this belief, we have these distortions in the way we think. And distortions is kind of a rough word, but it's just almost like not a flaw, but just something that can be changed. So I want you to read through some of these and just pick out a few or one that really sticks out to you that kind of describes how you were thinking.
Mm-hmm. And so distortions are bad things?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So what I'm doing, what was my statement again? Everybody. Probably I'm labeling myself. Oh, but I definitely think mind reading is pretty much what I'm doing. Because they didn't really say those things.
Yeah.
I just kind of thought.
Yeah, so if we just read through, it just says that you conclude that someone's reacting negatively to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one is a really good description of the situation. So I'm just going to have you write that in right here.
Okay.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking of when you're up there and everybody reacts to you blanking on what you're saying. And then thinking about when your classmates did that and your reaction, why would you say that they would react differently to you? So, should I reword that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So you were saying your classmates, they stuttered or just blanked a little, and your initial thought was that you felt bad for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't that you thought they were incompetent or stupid or anything.
No, of course not.
So what would make you think that your classmates would be thinking that of you when that happens to you?
Because I couldn't say anything at all.
Yeah.
That's probably why. Because they at least got up there and they could say something, but I couldn't say anything.
Yeah. So you were the only one in your class that just blanked. Everybody else kind of just kept going, or?
Well, I mean, this one person had to like stop and take a deep breath, and someone got them some water and stuff, and then they kept going.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I wasn't the only one.
Yeah. Did anybody say anything after your presentation to you?
No, they just like asked if they're okay.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then why would you think that they thought you were incompetent if that was not actually verbalized?
I don't really know.
Is there a way if your classmates were to negatively respond, how would that make you feel?
It would validate literally everything that I'm feeling already and just make me feel so much more worse. Awful.
So because they did not validate that, thinking of the positive things, how does that make you feel?
makes me feel better that they're not like out there to get me, or that they understand, I guess, that these things happen and some people get nervous and
Yeah.
can handle it.
So, would you say that generally most people are compassionate and like not necessarily they don't necessarily think the negative right away?
Not from what I've seen, no.
Not from. Let me rephrase that. Thinking of your class in that situation, would you say that just because? Oh, okay, wait. Time out.
I think it answered your question the way you
Yeah.
wanted me to, but then for some
But
reason
I-
I was confused.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think I already challenged the belief. I just skipped over it.
Which is hard.
So, okay. So time in. So, back to your class and how they reacted to your other classmates blanking and everything. I just like you to write in here that realization that not everybody that they wouldn't necessarily react negatively to you because they didn't really react negatively to anybody else.
Like they're really not actually out to get me.
Good. So, as you prepare for this next presentation, what are like some thoughts that go through your head if this, you're doing your presentation and you draw a blank or you need to take a second? How do you think you might think differently going into that presentation in that moment?
That I'm not stupid just because I had to take a second, and that other people do it too. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
So if you just want to write that here in this last box. Good. So this last thing I'm going to have you do now is I'm going to have you flip back over and thinking with this corrected thought of that people don't think I'm incompetent or stupid if I blank. I want you to rate these same emotions in that situation and what you would be feeling.
Okay. So like I'm stepping back into the past, or I'm thinking into the future?
You're thinking to the future with the corrected thought,
Okay.
but you're stepping into that situation.
That same situation?
Yes.
For the past. Okay. So probably a lot less panicky. Because feeling less incompetent, because I may not be good at it, but doesn't necessarily mean humiliated. Not just humiliated, because it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Well, I really hope that you do a lot better with your presentation and that this helps you. And thank you for coming in today.
Of course. Thank you so much.